Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Adams Tennis Complex. I'm Dylan Simmons alongside Izzy Gutierrez, and we cannot wait to bring you some great action here between MTSU and Tennessee State. And we will soon have an interview from the head coach of Tennessee State himself, Mr. Todd Smith. There we go. All righty. So, Izzy, what a great atmosphere today, and obviously we are looking forward to this matchup. And very interesting, these two teams have already faced off this season, and it's going to be interesting to see how things have changed.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to how this match is going to go. We did sadly just lose our win streak.
Yes.
Hate to bring that up so fast, but we did lose our win streak this morning against Notre Dame. So hopefully we can pull out with a win today against Tennessee State.
Yes, indeed, that's the idea. And obviously a different atmosphere, different kind of attitude, but MTSU still looking to get the job done against the Tigers today. And it's sure to be very interesting considering how these two teams played each other last time. And we're going to see, I'm sure, a few differences compared to what we saw. So going to be very, very great. And Mr. Smith is about to join us here in just a second. Very great for that opportunity. And we'll get to hear some of the insight he has and maybe some of the things that he's looking to change going into this matchup. All right, and we now have him, Mr. Todd Smith of Tennessee State University. Thank you so much for this potential interview, and we are ready to ask you some questions here. So going into this, obviously you guys have already faced off against MTSU earlier this season. How has your approach changed compared to last time, and what are you guys looking to do differently this time?
Well, I think that we've grown quite a bit, actually, in just this short period of time. I'm not necessarily expecting a miracle, but I think that you'll see a big difference than our previous match.
What have you learned from our last match against MTSU? How have you been trying to progress and keep the team going for this match?
Well, I mean, every day is a journey for us, you know, and you know, we have a lot of work to do with our program. All of our players, you know, have a lot of development yet to do. From a fitness level to a mental level to a technique level. I mean, you know, there's a lot of things that we're trying to address, and you know, with very little time. So we're happy where we are, and we're just appreciative of the opportunity to be here in a place like this. It's a wonderful environment, and we're just looking forward to getting out there and letting it rip.
All right, and next question. So obviously TSU is in the Ohio Valley Conference, and the placement in that conference is very, very crucial. So really questioning, what kind of placement do you have in the Ohio Valley Conference right now, and how crucial is this game in getting you into conference play?
Well, it's I think it's very crucial to us as far as you know, making sure that we're playing very high-level tennis and letting the guys see a ball that they probably won't see in conference. So right now, we're picked to be last in the conference. We're not picked to win a match. We're not picked to win a game here today. We're not, you know, we are at the bottom of the barrel. We're the Bad News Bears. And, you know, that's we kind of like where we are and you know, ready to move on up. So, like I said, I think that by, you know, us playing these types of matches, playing this type of talent and seeing this kind of ball, by the time our conference championships start to go, you know, we may surprise a couple of people along the way.
Well, thank you so much, Coach, Mr. Todd Smith. We appreciate it, and good luck today in your contest.
Thank you very much.
All right, so great interview there, and I liked a lot of what he had to say. Obviously, TSU looks determined, and they look ready. They're trying to overcome the odds in this one.
For sure. I think they're starting to get a little bit ready to go, ready to roll today. Hopefully they're going to step up and be ready to take on MTSU.
Absolutely. So now we're going to kind of go over some statistics and things from the past to go over with this series.
For
All-time, MTSU is 0-9 against Tennessee. TSU, excuse me, is 0-9 against MTSU, and they've had the advantage for the most part, as you see now TSU and MTSU getting ready to warm up here. But overall, MTSU's had the advantage. But like you said earlier today, a tough loss against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Izzy, how do you think that plays into the mental aspect of their game?
I could definitely see the team getting a little flustered, getting a little worried coming off the loss, but I think they'll be able to pick it up. Having it being 9-0 for all the games against Tennessee State, I could see us pulling through. I mean, the past 4 times we beat them 7-0, so I think they could be kind of confident about this one to go into the game strong and ready to go.
Absolutely. Interestingly, in this matchup's history, they've all been played here at Adams Tennis Complex, and as you see, Coach Jimmy currently looking out here at his team, and obviously they've got a lot of things going through their minds right now, and with that tough loss, it's going to be something they're going to try to overcome mentally. And like we've said before, tennis is as much a physical game as it is a mental one, and it's going to take a full force effort to make sure MTSU can still come out swinging in this one.
I fully agree. They're going to have to really get focused. I know they had some lunch in them. They're feeling maybe a little bit better. Obviously sad about the win streak being gone, but I think, maybe start a new win streak. Maybe start it up again.
Yes,
maybe a part
absolutely.
2.
And
that could be pretty good.
Yeah, so we saw some history potentially broken today, but we could see history rewritten as
Exactly.
MTSU looks to begin another
win streak?
Yes, indeed.
This could be crazy.
So make sure to stay tuned because you might witness 2 aspects of history in one day. Now we're going to go over TSU's team stats. So currently the Tigers are 0-3 on the season. They've played 3 games. They played MTSU earlier this season. We've mentioned it before. And they played Ole Miss twice and lost both times. And unfortunately for them, they have yet to score a point this season. So really, I think today it's going to be about establishing consistency and establishing a rhythm that's going to help them to victory.
I could definitely see them starting to get in a rhythm, starting to get in a pattern today. They could really start to kind of show what they've been working on. Hopefully that'll come across for them in their games today.
Absolutely, that's the idea. So we just met with Coach Todd Smith and some interesting information on him. He actually played for the University of Tennessee at Knoxville for their tennis team, and he was on a record-setting 34-1 team.
That's
so
amazing.
A lot of success there. They won an SEC tournament and were second in the national tournament. So he has a lot of success. He knows how to win. The question is, can he translate that today for his team?
Yeah, he definitely sounds like he has a lot going for him. He has a lot of experience coaching and playing, so hopefully it'll be able to cross over to the team and maybe get them some points to get their season rolling for sure.
Yes, indeed. So now we're going to go over the Notre Dame game. Obviously, just coming off of that,
That's
just
true.
wrapped up a few minutes ago, actually. So in that game, we saw a lot of back and forth. Notre Dame was able to get to MTSU really with the speed aspect, able to rush to a lot of balls, and MTSU tried, but it always seemed like Notre Dame was just a little bit faster, something to maybe to address in this one.
Yeah, I fully agree. They're definitely going to have to keep up that pace, keep up that energy. They had a lot of strong hits today playing Notre Dame, so they're going to have to keep it rolling in order to pull through with hopefully our win today.
Yes, indeed. So also had a couple games go very close toward the end. We saw Pablo and Oscar both have games that went really down to the wire and took a long time. It was such a long broadcast that we were actually curious whether or not our stream would make it all the way through.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
It kind of shows just how long it was a marathon for these
It
guys.
was really a powerful moment, powerful game. It was really intense and quite interesting to watch and see all the crowd cheering and ready to go. And, even though we didn't pull through, I know that our team worked really hard and tried their best out there.
Absolutely, and in a way, this is kind of what helps define a player, how they're able to respond to adversity, and this is a big moment for them overall. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with the start of doubles. This is MTN coverage of Blue Raider Tennis on CUSA.TV. We'll be right back.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it?
6 feet apart. Fight! 1, 2, 3, 4,
Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2.
I'm going to that game.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to the Cathedral of Tennis, the Adams Tennis Complex. Doubles action about to start momentarily. And Izzy, going to be very interesting to see how MTSU comes right out of the gate.
I definitely agree with you. We're going to have to see how it starts kicking off, start rolling, especially coming from the last match against Notre Dame. A sad loss, but hopefully we'll be able to pull through against Tennessee State.
Exactly, and I think that the next game here is going to really set the tone for how things are going to go throughout this matchup. Should be very interesting to watch.
I agree with you.
We're going to head to court number 2 to start out our doubles action. Stefan Hollis and Chris Edge will be taking on Neil Moynier and Diego Alvarez. And it's going to be very interesting to see what will happen here to start out the action. And there's the first serve. And it looks like that one will be called back. So you can see MT playing kind of with an aggressive attitude here early.
Yes, I agree with you.
Very nicely done that time. Kind of just subtly bounced it there. You kind of saw what he was looking for there, though, Izzy.
I agree with you.
Very nicely done. And already MT kind of getting an advantage here in this early doubles matchup. You can see the chemistry that Hollis and Edge have.
Agreed. Starting strong.
And again, another
powerful
one.
Serve.
Early serve here, but having a lot of success. Nice one right there once again. And you can see TSU kind of struggling with the net here early, Izzy.
I agree with you. I can definitely see the net. They're definitely hitting it.
And it claims another victim there as that one will go into it by Chris Edge, but
no worries.
no problem for him. Very experienced veteran. That one goes out of bounds, and so already MT very quickly, no hesitation, takes a 1-0 lead. And how about that one, Izzy? Already,
quick little nice start to the game.
That's what we call a blitz right there. They went right after the victory and wasted no time.
No issues.
And you can kind of tell, even with the loss, still very composed and very focused on the task at hand.
I agree.
Of course, these two have already had a busy weekend. Played Friday night against Louisville in a doubleheader as well.
Oh, and Saturday?
And yes.
Correct? Yeah.
Well, they have played many times this weekend regardless.
Yes.
And both of these players so experienced. They know each other so well. And they've had some success as a doubles team here so far.
Been working hard.
And TSU gets a little bit of a break there, and you saw how the ball kind of floated to the back. You gotta notice how MT plays a lot farther back, but looks like TSU's playing closer up.
I agree. I can definitely see those strong hits coming in early. We're going to move over to court number 3 right now. Who's over on court number 3?
Looks like we've got Bernardi and Roshev taking on Pierre Copin and Daniel Caraballo, excuse me. So already got one game at 1-0. Let's see how this one is going for MT. And quick update, court 1 has also reached 1-0. And what a slam that was. That's called putting the biscuit in the basket. What a play that was, just to spike it right down.
I agree.
You can see how fired up they are there, Izzy, as well.
Really getting some excitement to start the game strong.
Love to see that emotion. These players, they live for this. They love this moment. Love this opportunities to succeed. And like we said before, they're trying to start a new streak.
Yeah, but this could be potentially the start of a new streak with game 1 right here.
Here comes the early quick serve.
Wow. Whoa.
And it looks like TSU got the point there. You saw the TSU player kind of get off balance, but somehow...
Yeah, he almost fell.
Yeah, managed to somehow catch
For
himself.
real.
I
was like, wow, interesting. Yeah, for sure, I agree.
You can also tell TSU kind of doing the high arcing ball game. Seeing a lot of balls go early, and there's of course, we just interviewed Coach Smith, kind of talking it over with his players, and got to be impressed with what he's seen somewhat so far, and getting some success against MTSU. Now going to go over to court 5 here momentarily. So TSU finding some success early. It looks like they've kind of found that second groove they needed.
I agree. They're starting off their new team, new match goals, going strong.
Yes, indeed. And here comes the serve here against MT. There's Chris Edge, of course, the grad student from Carlisle, Great Britain. He has been tremendous for MTSU and already with a 1-0 lead here. And again, the net does not make any friends.
Yes, for sure.
You kind of saw what TSU was going for there, trying to spike it over. But Izzy, that's a very hard shot to make, especially with the angle and trajectory.
Yeah, it's definitely a fast, hard shot, so you're definitely going to want to get it precise when hitting. You cannot miss.
Tennis is such a game of precision. You have to make sure you hit it in exactly the right place at exactly the right time.
The net is just taking over this game.
Yeah, the net monster has claimed a few victims, and second serve coming here.
Ooh, getting so close to the net. Ooh, nice hit.
Yes, indeed. You saw how close to the net that was.
Yes.
Again, a game of inches right there as it was just barely creasing over the net.
Yes, it shot right down the middle.
Great job by MT to really see that and recognize that. Great players have great recognition, and they can tell where the ball is on the floor. Would have been hard to spot otherwise. That one also heads into the net, but MT likes to usually experiment with their first serves.
Powerful hit from Hollis.
Yes, indeed. Stephon Hollis with a great serve there. TSU really unable to respond. And again, if you can serve the ball fast enough, usually hard for your opponent to react in time. Hollis, the great player from the Czech Republic, and had a great outing against Louisville as well, and had a great day-to-day against Notre Dame, and looking to keep that streak going.
Ooh.
Looked like that one.
Did that count? That was crazy.
I believe that was very close. I think it might have hit the net, but you kind of saw what Chris Edge was going for there. Just kind of a slight tap.
A lot of tight hits right near the net today.
You can tell kind of the strategy that MTSU is looking for. Tight window shots right up against the net. That serve goes in. Ooh, wow, very nice recognition by TSU there.
Agreed with you.
You kind of saw how they angled it right away from the rest of the MTSU players, and really nothing Hollis or Edge could do about that one.
Yeah, came in strong.
Obviously, that past loss against MTSU, in the mind of the Tigers here, they want them to get some revenge. They want to get a little bit of payback for that one. And you can bet they've probably been studying game film. They have been watching things back in Nashville. They knew they would get a rematch against them.
Yeah.
Yes.
They knew this was coming.
Another nice one right there. And MTSU looks like they'll take a 2-0 lead over there. So going to head over to court 3. But Izzy, kind of seeing MT getting an advantage here, especially in that matchup early.
I agree with you. Over here, Bernardi and Rocha are coming in strong.
Yes, indeed, against Pierre Copen and Daniel Caraballo again. Two guys wearing headbands and have had great chemistry. They have struggled at different points throughout the season, but especially in the last couple of games, they've really come together as a doubles team.
I fully agree with you, especially Bernardi being a freshman.
Yes.
He's really starting off the season. We're still starting the season, which is actually crazy. And to come in as a freshman is probably really difficult. So it's intriguing to see how well he's doing.
Absolutely. And watch this play out here. Goes into the net that time. But like you mentioned, Bernardi is such a great player in terms of how his age as well. Same age as both of us. He is a freshman right now in college and already flashing his great skill, great potential. Going to be a current and future star for MTSU.
I could definitely see that's coming.
Going to switch over to courts here. And now heading back over to see how Chris Edge and Stefan Hollis are doing. Again, up against Diego Alvarez and Neil Monet. TSU already in a 2-0 hole, trying to climb out. Oh, what a play there. Just stays in. And then out. So great job by MTSU really targeting the back line on that play, Izzy.
I fully agree with you. They're coming in strong.
Absolutely. And TSU looking around. Obviously, got to change something here. And especially with MTSU already getting the advantage. Momentum is a strange thing, and it can change on a dime. Currently, MTSU has it.
Yeah, MTSU is coming in. They're ready to go. Coming in with some powerful hits.
Ooh, just missed by Chris Edge.
Yeah.
Trying to hit the corner pocket like playing a game of pool, but just couldn't angle it in there. Very hard shot to make.
I agree with you.
You can kind of see how the player ducks for TSU. That's to make sure the ball does not hit the opposing player. Don't want an accident like that to happen.
Ooh, that was hard to hit back for sure, because that shot was very powerful.
A lot of power behind that one.
Yeah.
And again, you see TSU
Very
crashing
high.
up against the net, slamming it with all their might. That seems to be the strategy. And I saw a little bit in pregame warmups. They like to target power. That's what they really strive on, is power hits up against the net. And that seems to be their calling card.
Yeah, those shots are really fast, so it's hard for MTSU to try to get up there and get them. But I think we'll be able to hit some for sure.
Absolutely. MT, of course, as a tennis player, you want to make sure you're setting the tone for the game. If you can set the tone, it really makes your opponent fight on their heels. And mistake by Chris Edge there into the net. Again, we talked about exhaustion earlier, and again, reminder, these guys have already played a game today against a very high-level opponent in Notre Dame.
Yeah, I agree with you. Playing Notre Dame earlier today definitely was a bit of a struggle, but we'll be able to pull through, hopefully, pick our feet back up, put them on the ground, and get ready to continue to take on Tennessee State.
That ball flies out of bounds. Britt Alvarez for TSU, sophomore from Naples, Florida. So TSU having some youth here in this contest, in this doubles match. And Neil Monet, a junior from Guadalupe, Caribbean, French West Indies. So,
wow.
Yeah, and you see that a lot with these players, these interesting backgrounds, unique stories. And the great thing a lot about college tennis is there's always talent from all across the world. So
Yeah,
you get to see a
I
lot
agree.
of cool different styles in that respect. And that one went right through a gap there, and the ball again is scored by MTSU. So TSU, again, just not having as much success being able to stop this onslaught.
Yeah, definitely can see that as a struggle here.
Chris Edge tightens his cap and tightens his focus, but he's the kind of guy, he likes to make sure he's playing at a top level at all times. And that was very close.
Yeah, that looked in to me.
Ruling it out for the moment, but again, it's so hard to tell, especially here in the broadcast booth.
That's true.
But from our angle, looked like it was in. However, of course, the referees are the eyes in the sky, and they had that there as that ball goes into the net, and MTSU scores another point. And emotions play a big role in this as well, Izzy, making sure you can control your emotion and not let it affect your play on the court.
Yeah, you got to keep your emotions in check, especially coming off the match we had earlier against Notre Dame. We're definitely going to have to stay mentally prepared and mentally in the game to continue to hopefully win.
And the net again catches another tennis ball as TSU's had issues getting the ball over the net today. Seems to be their main issue at the moment. And MTSU,
wow, that shot was really cool for sure.
just complete efficiency and calculation by MTSU. They are as intelligent as Albert Einstein when it comes to playing on the court.
Yeah.
Just finding the seams and finding the holes that are very hard to see as a tennis player, but great recognition by them.
Yeah, definitely a really tight shot. And I feel like you usually see those shots towards the corner, but it was more towards the middle, which I think is really interesting.
Pick up another point there. And boy, we can tell Edge and Hollis just having so much success.
They're really getting started.
Yes, and they're playing with a purpose and a passion right now.
They are. We're going to move over to court number 1 with Slump and
Pavel Model as well. So Stein Slump
Yes.
and Pavel Model currently playing court 1 against Leandros Mistrakis and Maxims Kazijevis. Quick serve there and too far. Tape measure would not reach at that point, so try number 2. And the pop fly flies out of bounds, and MTSU picks up another point, and Coach Jimmy liking
Yes.
a lot of what he's seeing so far.
Coach Jimmy stepping in, helping our boys out, continue to defeat.
Yes, and we mentioned it a lot, obviously, but it is hard to ignore the game earlier today against Notre Dame, obviously the historic implications in that one. And the job that Coach Jimmy has to do to get his players mentally focused and mentally prepared now to say, hey, put that game behind you, focus on the task at hand.
That's true. You definitely have to stay in the moment and stay ready to go for the next move.
Oh,
Wow.
that was a smooth play, and very nonchalantly just kind of spiked it over the net there, Izzy.
Yeah, that was a smooth shot. Really came through.
And MTSU picks up yet another point, and so far it's been pretty much what MTSU could hope for. They have had domination in terms of the court. Looking to keep that up. So MTSU picks up yet another point, and currently looks like all speed ahead for MTSU.
I fully agree. We're definitely starting strong and getting these games going. We're now going to move over to court number 2 with Stepan Hollis and Chris Edge.
Again up against Neil Moynet and Diego Alvarez for Tennessee State. And one thing you and I discussed in the pregame, the proximity of this rivalry. Both of these schools in the Middle Tennessee area, one from Nashville, one from Murfreesboro.
I know. Wonder if there's a little bit of beef going on.
Could potentially
Be some beef, guys.
And of course, with these teams already facing off earlier this season, they have more recognition for each other's tendencies. They know kind of how the other team plays.
That's definitely true. I mean, they only played like a month ago, so I could
Yes.
definitely see them understanding and knowing even each player's individual goals in mind when playing.
Not mistaken, it was January the 17th, so a little over 2 weeks ago, these teams faced off. and
Crazy.
Already playing again. And a bit of a mistake there as that one falls into the net. Stepan Hollis trying to just barely crease it over, but sometimes you're playing with fire in that situation. And a little bit of a lull in the action. MTSU currently having a lot of success overall. Up 3-1 on court 3, 3-2 on court 1, and 5-0 are your current scores for MTSU. So leads across the board, and MTSU's having a lot of thorough, really play so far.
I agree. I think starting strong with some nice points is going to really help them get in that mind zone of saying we're going to keep going and pushing forward, especially if you start with a nice lead. I think we were able to pull out a win.
Looking good so far. The compass is pointing in the right direction. As that ball flies into the net, and TSU will try again. Oh, wow.
That was a nice shot. I've seen a lot of shots from Chris Edge going straight down the middle in between both players.
And that takes the first set in the double. So MT again succeeding early. And boy, Stepan Hollis and Chris Edge were just absolutely on fire and so efficient with their play. You saw how their style was, precise and accurate.
It was very accurate. All the shots very straightforward, very straight down the middle, ready to go. We're now moved over to court number 1 with Stein and Pavel.
Up against Leandros Mistrakis and Maximus Kazijeris once again. Of course, graphic there for Stein Slump, senior from the Netherlands, and he had a very, very emotional matchup against Notre Dame. A lot of emotion there, and trying to channel that here. job there by
Yes.
Stein Slump. Ball looked like an astronaut flying from space, and he was just able to put it over. And Izzy, I think that's a situation where as a player you almost think it looks so high, like there's no way it can be in bounds.
Yeah, I think seeing a ball like that, you really got to be prepared and be amazed.
Discussion ensuing between the two players, Slump and Pavel Model. And here comes the serve. Watch this form as well.
Wow, that was a tight, strong hit.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
What a play that time, right in the perfect spot. That was dead center. That would have been a 10
It
in
really
archery.
was dead center.
These guys are putting these tennis balls into a mailbox, and they are finding the perfect spot. So you can tell these guys, they work day in and day out in terms of accuracy. And we're about to go split screen here in just a moment. And you know what split screen means? That means twice the action, twice the intensity.
Really exciting to see both matches going on at the same time.
One of the great things of modern technology, being able to check out different matches at once. And one of the great things about tennis, you get to see multiple matches at the same time. You don't really get that in many other sports.
That's true.
Over on court 2, there's the serve. And that ball will fly out of bounds, and that should be another point for MTSU. And we're on, by the way, courts 1 and 3 for those watching at home. TSU getting ready for the serve over on the right side of your screen. And you can feel the intensity in the rafters, especially in these moments of silence. And that ball looks like it flew out of bounds over there on the right side, and looks like it's going to be a point there for MTSU. So again, they strike in a very crucial moment, and also on the left side getting some success. So
Wow.
seems like it is spreading. And you know, of course, you kind of watch your other teammates see how they're doing on the court, especially as a tennis player. I can recall that as well, watching to see how the rest of the team is doing. And if they're succeeding, a lot of times it makes you succeed as well.
I agree. I think seeing your other teammates winning, succeeding, and seeing everyone get some early points in these matches is really helping their mindset from the last game proceed into this game.
Absolutely. And MT continuing to have some success there over on the right side of your screen. They'll take a little bit of a break in the action, and over on the left side, we'll head back to the top of the court here. So a bit of a score update here. For MT right now, it is 3-3, 3-2, and 6-0. Obviously, they have already taken the first set on court number 5. That was a set between Chris Edge, Stefan Hollis, Neil Monet, and Diego Alvarez. MT in pretty good position the other ones, but it has gotten a little bit closer. And a big spike there over in the first court.
Yes, that was really intense. Lots of power behind that shot.
That's no football spike right there. That is just an absolute throttling of the ball into the ground.
Speaking of football, are you excited for the Super Bowl?
Oh, I'm absolutely excited
Who
for
are
the
you
Super
rooting
Bowl.
for?
Well, I have to say I'm rooting for the Cincinnati Bengals.
I am
in that
too.
one, yes.
Very exciting, very exciting.
Be interesting to get the players' opinions on that one as well.
Maybe, actually, yeah. The valuable questions.
Absolutely. And like you said, big weekend in sports. Also tonight, the Clash at Daytona. So we've got tennis here. We've got racing at the LA Coliseum. We've got the Pro Bowl that I believe is taking place here, or might have already taken place at this point in time. But big weekend in sports, and, of course, maybe better than everything here, MT Tennis.
I agree with you.
Quick aside for those watching at home, obviously, I would suggest coming to the Adams Tennis Complex. This place is absolutely awesome, especially in terms of the architecture, the beauty, and the great tennis that takes place inside. Obviously, we love watching games on our television screen, and it's great, but nothing quite like watching a game in person.
I agree. Adams Tennis Complex is a great place to be, and now that they're building a new tennis complex on campus, that will also be really exciting. They have the blueprints shown up here of how it's going to look, so it's been really interesting to see how everything is going to turn out.
Absolutely. The tradition of success will continue for MT Tennis. And Game of badminton breaking out over there in the second
saw
quarter, and it's
that.
won by MTSU. What a play there.
Very nice.
And that takes incredible concentration to make sure you don't angle the ball the wrong way. When it's airborne like that, it's so much harder as a player to hit it accurately.
Agree. You're going to have to be careful and really stay precise.
That's exactly what they did there. And moving back over to the left side now. Serve coming up by TSU. And MT again strikes with precision and tacks more points onto the board. Blue Raiders having their way with the TSU doubles teams now. TSU does fire back, though, over on the second side. What a play as, oh, it somehow stayed in play. My apologies there. And TSU, what a job over there on this first court as they were able to stick with that one even when it looked like it was surely out of play.
Yeah. Coming in strong.
Great recognition and great job by them of concentrating and making sure the ball doesn't go out of bounds. And over there on the next court, we see a point there scored. Looks like by MTSU, or TSU, excuse me. So Tigers getting more advantage, and MTSU looking to try to fire back, obviously. Games are a little close right now, and it's in those close games where a lot of times we learn the most about how a player truly is.
Yeah, you're going to have to be able to see if they can push through the difficulties, and hopefully end up on top.
Yes, indeed, as a little bit of a lull in the action on court one. Court two back in full play. And looks like that one flies out of bounds. So another nice job there over at the back end of the right screen, but having some success, especially going towards the back line, targeting the back line, and making it hard on the opponent to really get on it. So going to see a serve here on court one now. And we'll see simultaneously also one on court two. And looks like over on court one, a score was made. Let's see. I believe that was MTSU's point, and it looks like it was.
Nice.
Yes, nice indeed, and Coach Jimmy likes that as well. As over on court two as well, they're going to swap sides here really quickly, take a little bit of a break. Score update real quick, 4-3. Actually, TSU has taken the advantage on court one, so they have their first lead of the afternoon. Could be crucial here for Tennessee State to have a chance. And, of course, they want to succeed in getting that all-important doubles point.
Yes, the double point really comes in strong. Earlier this morning when we did play Notre Dame, we unfortunately lost the doubles point. So you can definitely see how that contributes to how the rest of the game plays out.
Absolutely. That doubles point is so crucial, and especially establishing a tone.
Extremely valuable.
And making sure you take a lot of pressure off your shoulders when you can get that. MT is usually successful at getting it.
Wow, that spike really came in strong.
Yeah, that one went all the way to Mars. What a play there, just spiking it into the ground again. MT has been doing a lot of those here today.
Completely dominant, just
yes.
right up there by the net and just smacking it down.
Going to come back real quick. Kind of retreated to the back there for a second. Maybe thought the game was potentially close to being over. And now we got a little bit of a crossover. Seeing both teams come into either side of the screen. And another interesting fact to note, both of these teams that you see on the screen are playing right beside each other. So that also has a factor into it, is they kind of can see what's going on and keep track of the action here.
Yes, they can keep track of their players and see how everyone else is doing.
Oh, my gracious. What a play that was.
It was such a quick angle.
Patrick Mahomes' sidearm right there just kind of
Completely
flung it to the side.
whipped that to the side.
And as a player, you can't do anything about that. There is nothing that can be done.
You really can't, because you can't move up that fast or to that side even.
Serve coming up here. And that was a
strong,
absolute bullet fired out of the chamber.
The team, wow. I mean, Tennessee State was not even ready to hit that back.
No, and again, like we said before, there's really no time to do anything about it. And when you can take away the reaction time from your opponent, really helps you to establish the tone yourself. And that is exactly what MTSU did right there.
Agree with you. Timing is completely crucial, especially with these fast, tight shots.
And MT gets another point right there as that ball will fly into the net. And the Raiders
The
continue.
net goblin is
The net
completely
goblin.
attacking today.
You can tell he is in a
Munching.
very, yeah, he is starving. He has not had
He
dinner
really
yet.
needs a snack.
Somebody get that guy some food. Ball flies out of the bounds there on the right side for TSU. And again, MTSU is just having their way overall in terms of especially keeping the ball low to the ground. Makes it hard on Tennessee State to respond in kind. And score update, MTSU now holds the lead on both courts. It is 5-4 and 4-3. So MT having some success and starting to establish a tone. And as that progresses forward, that will lead closer into the singles action. But again, getting that doubles point establishes the tone and gets them right where they want to be. Ball flies in the net there. And of course, with that 5-4 score, that means MT just 1 point away from closing that one out. And that will give them the doubles point if they can indeed do it.
That'll be a really great advantage, a really great start, and hopefully help us work our way through the rest of this match.
Absolutely, and that shifts all the pressure over to Tennessee State. They now have to be the ones on their heels responding in kind to at least try to get it to a tie, but MTSU will have all of the pressure really taken off of them, and they can kind of approach this in a different way. And MT, a lot of times, and this seems kind of obvious, but MT plays a lot better with a lead. They do really well when on top, and they can sustain that.
Yeah, once you get up there, you can stay up there and have a smooth sail ride through the rest of the game.
Trying to avoid those turbulent waters and doing a great job of it so far. TSU serving on the right side of your screen. High arc. And a nice play that time by Tennessee State. Ferocious as the Tigers. They go again sidearm. Very similar to what we saw earlier on the left side on that court. We saw that same kind of shot. Takes it to the left and really puts it out of the way of the players where they can do nothing about it. And on the right side of your screen,
that serve was so powerful.
Looks like it might have missed the box there.
Oh.
Nothing in the box that time. And looks like it caroms off the net, and that'll be another missed serve. So MT gets the free point on court 2. And as a player, you want to avoid those mental mistakes and giving up free points.
Agreed. Saw a little frustration from that team member.
Now you can see the discussion being had. Again, a lot of history between these two opponents. They know each other very well, know each other's tendencies. They're trying to avoid giving their opponent an edge that they really cannot afford. And State trying to get kind of that building block win that they can use to build for a better future. As that one flies in the net, but like we said, 0-3 to start the year, and having already played MT, do not want to fall twice, especially to the same team. Trying to avoid that.
Yeah, I mean, losing between 2 weeks is going to be, it would be a little disappointing. So I think we're going to have to pull in strong. It definitely is more of a mental game today, though.
Yes.
Coming off Notre Dame. Going to have to stay focused and push through.
That mental game is so crucial, especially for MTSU. Focus is something we were curious about coming into this one. How focused would MT truly be, especially with the loss? And again, just a few minutes afterwards, they've got to play Tennessee State. And especially with the history, obviously it's something that as a player you really don't want to try to focus on. You just want to take it one game at a time. But it's hard to ignore that history kind of being taken away. MT trying to overcome that here. And that ball will fly into the net on the right side of your screen. Ball flies out of bounds and looks like State gets a point there. And MT Looks like maybe closes that one out. Yes, they do. So there is another point, and that should be the double point for MTSU.
Wow.
And a big victory, and that gives them the big early advantage. MTSU making a statement.
What a great start to this match. I mean, starting with the double point win, just perfect.
Absolutely. And again, MT really starting to feel it. We got a break over there, so we're about to go to break here in just a second. Make sure to stay with us here on MTN Sports. We will see you guys in just a little bit with more tennis action. We'll see you guys for the singles in just a moment.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
So many men and women that have served, that expected to be able to have their tuition or certain assistance being given to them, and that money evaporated. With the establishment of the general fund is to make sure that all those men and women can get through MTSU and pursue what they thought they could do when they came on back.
We're extremely proud that the Predators have identified the need to help make this fund one of the best at our university for our veterans.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Cathedral of Tennis, the Adams Tennis Complex. Dylan Simmons alongside Izzy Gutierrez, and we saw a great doubles matchup there. MT gets the early point, and now they're looking to take that momentum into the singles round.
I mean, winning the double match, the double point is such a great start. I think we're going to be able to pull through. Hopefully, coming off the game earlier today, they were able to get their mental health in the game, ready to go, and hopefully win some of these singles matches.
Yeah, it looks like they've definitely got their mental focus on the task at hand right now. You'd love to see it. Shows this team's got a lot of resiliency, and they're not going to let anything get past them. They are going to find that gear they need to come out with another victory and hopefully start another huge streak in their home team history.
Potentially could be starting another home win streak is such a great start, I agree. And I think we're going to hopefully be able to do that, just staying focused, staying ready to go, staying prepared, and take on these singles matches.
That's what it's all about, taking advantage of the preparation, using that preparation, and converting it to the court. Not all players can do it, not all teams can do it, but MTSU always strives and succeeds in putting that into practice. And I'm sure we're going to see more of that in the singles point, which is something that MTSU hasn't been able to get with as much regularity as the doubles point but they're looking to do it here.
Especially facing Tennessee State. I mean, looking back at our history once again, we have won against them for the past 9 matches to 9-0. So I'd have to say that I think we have a strong, confident team ready to go and take on these singles matches. Even the past 4 matches have been 7-0. So I think we're able to hopefully come in with these singles wins and see if we can keep that streak going.
They know absolutely. They know the task at hand, and they know what they need to do to get this done. Having that prior experience definitely has to give MTSU some level of confidence going into this, and I'm sure we're going to see that as this plays out. I want to give you a quick singles lineup action to give you guys a preview of what's to come here in just a second. So for Tennessee State, we're going to have Pierre Copen taking on Stein Slump. And the second court, we'll have Leandris Mistrakis, taking on Francisco Rocha. We're going to have Maximus Kazajevas taking on Chris Edge. Diego Alvarez will take on Stefan Hollis. We'll have Neo Monet taking on Pavel Model. And that is your, Daniel Calabero taking on Shin. So that is your current lineup for MTSU up against Tennessee State in the singles matchup. And it is going to be very interesting to see how these teams will come together. And especially coming off a doubles matchup, maybe you learn something a little bit about your opponent as well.
Especially playing them just 2 weeks prior and now playing them once more and already going through doubles matches, I think you really can be able to pick up on what's going on and pick up on each player's individual qualities. So hopefully they'll be able to show through during these singles matches.
And we saw there we had six courts getting ready to set up, 6 courts that will lay host to great tennis action between these two teams as this kind of sort of rivalry that has been perpetuated over this last couple weeks will be renewed here between MTSU and Tennessee State. Going to be very interesting to see how that will go. And taking a little bit of a break here between the action. So a little bit more of a chance to discuss MTSU's path for the rest of the season. Currently sitting atop the Conference USA standings, and that's a big thing that they've been looking forward to. We've seen how they've been very interested in taking home yet another Conference USA title, have had success in recent years looking to do that here. And Izzy, do you think a victory here helps with that?
I definitely think this victory specifically will come in strong and send a really good – we're still at the start of our season. So I think starting off with this win along with the one we had a few weeks ago will really help boost our confidence and keep us going, especially coming off Notre Dame. I think this is going to be a nice little ego boost for our team to keep going, and hopefully we'll be able to pull up on top. And I think it's also interesting to mention as well that the game earlier, that was like 4 hours long. 5 hours long, and now we're already through the doubles matches in 30 minutes, 40 minutes. It's crazy.
And we have an updated singles lineup here, so going to go over this real quickly. So we've got Francisco Rocha, Stefan Hollis, Pavel Model, Tenchin, and Bernardi and Olivier are in the sixth lineup for MTSU. So that is your players that will be playing today for MTSU. So a little bit different than what we've seen in the past, but a chance for experience for new MTSU players here. And we're going to see the 6 courts now coming into view. And yes, folks, this is live. This is here on MTN Sports. Very excited to see what's going to take place here, and about to get this one underway as the players step onto the court. And we'll follow the action with you here in these picture-in-picture frames. Alrighty, so getting ready to come back at it here at the Adams Tennis Complex. Already see down on the 6th screen, we're seeing the game already taking place. So kind of looking at the players we've got currently in the lineup, one of them, Mattia Bernardi, a freshman from Italy, and haven't been able to call his name as much today, but he's a guy looking to get some big experience, as are a lot of these MT players. Yeah,
Mattia is really coming in strong, starting as a freshman. You've been working all season from the fall to now, so hopefully he'll be able to pull through.
Going to court 1 now. Going to see the first little bit of action here between MTSU and TSU when it comes to singles. You see Coach Smith over there for TSU looking on. And here comes the first serve that we have seen here so far in the showdown. And that one falls into the net. So MT getting the early advantage with that one. As Rocha looks to find his way through. And of course, although he's had some issues with doubles, he has strived in singles so far. A very good record and looking to keep it up here. Of course, the senior from Portugal, and he's been around the block a few times.
Yeah, I think him being a senior, he's really able to help our freshmen and newcomers join our team and adjust.
And that ball flies out of bounds, so MT gets the point there. Great job by Rocha, and great recognition. That was a very close showdown, and reminder to folks at home that things get narrower now that we're in the singles matchup. A little less space to look with. If you can kind of see on the screen, you've got that line to the inside. That is what the players are trying to hit it inside of. Makes things difficult on the Mizzy.
I agree. It definitely is a strong situation going on there. Strong choice to hit the ball strong and keep the focus.
And that ball flies right into the net, so again, we'll see TSU give it another shot here. And here comes that high arching serve. And Rocha catapulted it way up in the air like an angry bird and absolutely delivered. What a play that time.
Yeah, very strong, very powerful. Came in really overhead.
Indeed, he did, and he's taking on Pierre Copen, as a reminder to those watching at home, from TSU. Tennessee State's #1. From the left side now, and into the net. And, you know, sometimes, Izzy, players favor a particular side that they're on.
That is true. I played tennis in high school, and I think my side was the right side.
I can agree with that. That ball goes in the net, and Copen celebrates, so he does get a point there on Rocha, gets the better of him. Rocha obviously doesn't want that to happen again, but, you know, you're right. I think a lot of players favor that right side in some respects. I think it is easier as a player to hit from the right because that's kind of your dominant hand, especially if you're a right-handed person. Makes it a lot easier.
Gives you a little personal advantage.
Well, we can see Copen here left-handed, so a left-handed player does make it a little more difficult, a little harder to prepare for Rocha and the MTSU players. Looks like that one was back again. So, again, as a player, you don't want to give your opponent a free point on a serve. Got to say, there was nothing that frustrated me more than giving up a free point from that serving opportunity because, again, it's giving an opponent the advantage that you feel like you delivered personally to them.
I agree with you.
So here comes Copen once again. And the serve up and away. And you can hear the emotion coming out that time. Smith comes over to rediscuss things. And see a little bit of a lull in the action, but you're seeing Copen and Rocha really in a chess match, a back and forth game of cat and mouse. And right now, Rocha getting the better of Copen, but he still has a lot of talent and has a lot of time to make good. And really, if you're going to struggle, you want to do it early in the contest.
I agree with that. Definitely get those struggles out now to keep going and pushing forward.
Copen, of course, the junior from France, as Rocha will head towards the back. Serve coming up here. And, of course, during this time, players have a lot of thoughts running through their mind. I think, personally, this is a time where you use it to kind of refocus, retool, and catch your breath.
I could agree with you on that. Definitely take that time as your advantage to prepare mentally.
Serve coming this way. And that one, again, taps the net. So Tennessee State's struggles with hitting the net continue, Izzy.
It's facts. It is a little bit of an eater today, as we mentioned earlier. The net is just munching away.
Yeah, it's been a virtual black hole whenever a ball's gotten near it. And in 4 of our 6 matchups right now, MTSU holds a 1-0 advantage. So a lot of success across the board right now. And you know, if you're a betting person, you got your hopes on MTSU right now.
Yeah, definitely a good start to the singles points. Having already that double point win, I think this will be an easy ending to this game.
Of course, big day not only for MTSU tennis, but in the Pro Bowl, Kevin Byer, the safety, got an interception. Of course, the alumni from MTSU. He's representing our college well, and also going to have a couple of talents from MTSU in the Super Bowl. So the expanse and the wingspan of MT Athletics, it reaches all across different leagues and different organizations, and we're showing our stuff in the NFL as well.
Pretty exciting to show our school.
Absolutely, and of course Byer, the safety for the Titans, as that one falls out. And of course these are some players here for MTSU that we could see in a professional organization in a little while as well. Rocha with that very quick, fast serve.
Yes.
And sometimes players use that first serve as an experimental serve to kind of see what they might want to do with the next one. I think that's what you saw Rocha doing here, trying a quick serve and going to go
the
back
vibe,
to
yeah.
yes, going to go back to the soft serve with the second one.
Yeah, really taking the first serve as an opportunity.
It's a good strategy to have. And that one did go out of bounds. Great recognition by Rocha. And did you see how quickly he was able to figure that out?
Agree with you.
Great recognition. The ball almost looked like it was going to be in bounds, but Rocha did not let it get past him. He made sure that it was going to be out of bounds for certain before he tried to swing at it, and did a great job of that. And you can notice as well just how far back Rocha stands. Look at all the way back at the green. Strategy that they put in place to make sure nothing can get past them. Ball flies into the net. And Izzy, following up on that, whenever you're playing back, if you play up too close, the ball can easily get past you at a moment's notice. And so this way you can kind of survey the whole court and be able to figure out what you want to do.
Yeah, definitely seeing him scoop back and be ready to prepare for anything, because moving too close can sometimes cut you off.
Absolutely. And a great job by Rocha right there. You saw how the ball was just sliding over the net, but then Tennessee State, we saw coping with the mistake, went too high. And usually when a ball gains height like that, it's not going to be as good for your team. Ball flies out of bounds. And looks like that time it was Copen who was able to recognize that. So mistake from Rocha. Get another opportunity to cash in the check. We'll see if the bank answers. And that serve will fall out of the way, so a nice job again by Rocha, and he's really finding his groove, finding a rhythm here. It's almost like performing an orchestra, and once you find that right note, things can really start to go well for your performance. All right, we're going to have a report here from Mr. Zachary Lone here in just one moment.
Hey guys, so Stepan Hollis is on court 2. The coach moved him up for this match. After struggling in that first match, losing in straight sets, he has turned around, has really dominated his opponent so far. Up 3-0, up a break, going into the fourth game.
Thank you, Zachary, and a great job there by Stepan Hollis.
Thank you, Zachary.
And he is now up 3-0, so you can tell he's finding his groove, and he is doing what he needs to be done to have success early. And when you jump out to that big lead, it makes things a lot more comfortable on you. So great news there, and we saw again Francisco Rocha also having a lot of success. MTSU really coming together with a full, complete team performance, and tennis is based a lot on individual performance, but when you coalesce like this, it really becomes a team effort.
I agree with you. Now we're over at court 3, and I believe this is Pavel.
Let's see here, court number 3, I believe you are correct. It is Pavel Model, and he is going up against Maximus Kazjevis for Tennessee State. So Pavel Model and Maximus will continue their clash here.
Watching him play earlier today against Notre Dame, I mean, he is just such a strong player, such a powerful, just strong player really coming through. You can see how that's showcasing during this match as well. He's just a fighter.
He is. He is really a fighter. And again, you mentioned the strength and the power. Yes, a lot of that comes to workouts, exercises, getting your core strength up, and he absolutely does all of the above. And that's why he's able to do so well in the tennis court and really find a way usually to dominate his opponents in the fashion he does. Really, like you said, a fighter.
He really is.
Has that Mike Tyson mentality, trying to knock out the opponent. That's what he wants to do here.
Completely.
And a good job there to recognize the ball was flying out of bounds. And so Moda will get that point. And that'll send us back to the top of the key now. High arcing serve. And that one again flies into the green, so MTSU finds pay dirt with another point there by Pavel Model. And you can tell he's starting to build that confidence and build that swagger that is needed to succeed.
Yeah, he's definitely starting to build up that confidence. Coming off of last game, he's really getting in the zone and pushing through.
Score update real quick for MTSU. MT up 3-0, 2-1, 3-0, 2-1, 3-0, and 0-2 currently in their matchups. So MTSU leading every single one except for one. But you can tell they're having a lot of advantage. And actually that one just transferred over to 2-1. So Blue Raiders making a lot of strides here, and they are inching ever closer to that quick little bit of success and trying to close this one out here against Tennessee State. And we talked about the impact this would have, and this is really, like you said, going to be a game that turns the tide for them.
I agree. Hopefully the start of another win streak and winning that doubles point first and now keeping up these points, I think we'll be able to maybe pull through with something new.
Absolutely, and cannot understate enough how crucial that win streak was, how historically inclined it was. Such a great moment and great job by MTSU over the years to get it to that point. As looks like Alvarez scores for Tennessee State on that play. But it was truly something to witness, and I think something that in the years to come we'll all look back on and really just feel like we were privileged to witness. And
That's
I know
true.
I was privileged to
Me
be
as
able to
well.
broadcast a game during it, and you could tell these guys just had the it factor during it, and it's something that we'll certainly never forget. And that was a nice gimme shot that time. Again, it isn't easy to get that sort of thing done, but when you're in that situation, you kind of relax and breathe a sigh of relief because you know I've probably got a point on my hands.
I agree with you. Getting those shots that are super dominant, super powerful, just boom, right across the net, I think is really coming in strong and allows you to get a great advantage.
Great form there, great technique to put it in that position as well. When the player gives you that much space, you usually get a chance to capitalize, and that is exactly what he did in that one. Serve coming back here. Flies
a little
out.
long.
A little bit long in terms of length. Good thing for second serves. And that one flies out of bounds, so Alvarez getting a little bit more of an advantage here and kind of finding his way back into it. And that's why you never want to count your eggs before they hatch, so to speak. You want to make sure you take care of your opponent early. And even though MTSU got the doubles point, Tennessee State is not going to go away quietly. Ball flies into the net that time. Alvarez and John Chin going at it here. Serves up and away. And that one will fly into the net once more. So again, Tennessee State, the net problems continue. And MTSU's nets have really, they could be good fishermen.
Potentially.
Seems like they could catch a lot if they really put their minds to it.
But those are the little points that really start to add up when you look at all of them and realize, oh wow, we're getting our win streaks going.
Absolutely. Point scored right there by MTSU. About to go over to court number one. And again, we're kind of seeing how MTSU is really attacking this one. Quick, precise, and accurate shots that disorient the opponent and take them off their game.
Yes, definitely a lot of shots that are very powerful, striking down right in that front box, getting it through.
Now we're at court number 1, Pierre Copen and Francisco Rocha back in action. And over on court number 2, between Mistrakis and Stefan Hollis. Currently a 2-0 lead for Stefan Hollis, so having an advantage there. And again, he continues to extend his lead. And looking in the pregame at Tennessee State, like I said earlier, they really valued the strength and the power of their hits and trying to establish a speed pattern. And it's a bird, it's a plane, no, it's a tennis ball as it flies out of bounds, and Pierre Copen takes that one. High arcing shot by Francisco Rocha that time, and he'll take a seat. About to go to court number 2 now, and kind of saw Tennessee State getting an advantage. And it seems like as this game progresses forward, maybe that exhaustion fatigue could start to set in just a little bit, and I'd say that's going to be something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, definitely could see some fatigue coming off this now doubleheader, and they've played a ton this weekend as well in a few different matches and games against different opponents, so they're definitely going to have to stay strong for this last little bit of this weekend and push through.
Back to court number 2 now, Mistrakis and Stefan Hollis. We were just talking about that matchup. 2-0 MTSU with the lead here. As looks like that ball flew out of play. So Stefan will get another shot. And they're going to call that one out. You could tell just how close that was, though.
I'm definitely starting to feel very confident about all of our scores, especially winning the double point. I think we could potentially see a win today.
Absolutely. I think you're seeing all the ingredients for this gourmet cuisine coming together and really going to create something tasty, I believe, for MTSU. And something to really latch onto and build off of for their program. Ball flies out, but you can see how he's kind of attacking it in a way of, again, using that first serve as an experiment and seeing what he can do with the second serve.
Gourmet cuisine.
Gourmet cuisine, yes.
Dang, that is legit.
We're seeing a lot of those today with MTSU.
I'm seeing a lot of cuisine.
Gordon Ramsay would be proud of them.
For real.
Master
Guy
chefs,
Fieri?
Yes, Guy Fieri.
He would be really proud of us.
Whoever your preference is, whoever you enjoy, you can kind of tell these guys are fit right in with all of them. Serve coming up here.
Serving some tasty shots.
Yes, indeed. There's another tasty one. And sorry about the food puns as that one goes into the box, and looks like that one was scored that time by Mistrakis. So we're going to see Hollis get another shot here. And that one will fly out. Again, using that first serve as practice. And that one goes into the net, so starting to see Mistrakis get a little bit of an advantage, and Hollis perhaps a little bit confused as to what's going on right now, and he's going to discuss things over with his coach. So we're starting to see Hollis kind of getting a little bit of competition from Mistrakis now, and that game's starting to tighten up just a little bit, and maybe that's happening across the board. We're seeing a lot of games get a little bit closer.
For sure. Now we're going to move over to court number 1 with Rocha and see how she's doing. He's doing, oh my goodness.
Francisco back against Pierre Copen here. And again, Francisco's had so much success here, really in establishing a rhythm and establishing a precedent that can be built off of. And currently, he has a 3-2 lead. So not a done deal, but Black Headband of Doom is out once again. He's trying to intimidate the opponent. Intimidation can be a factor, especially if you can find a way to get a lead and find a weakness in your opponent and exploit that. That can make the opponent scared and make them feel intimidated. And Rocha's got intimidation like Dale Earnhardt Sr. And now we're going to head over for an interview real quick, an update from Mr. Zach Lone. Zach?
Hey guys, so on court number 2, that first set just went final versus the Penn Hollis. He won that first set 6-0, and then when you look at court number 3, where Pavel Modal's at, Pavel Modal, of course, lost that heartbreaker in the first match of the day against Notre Dame, has turned around and has gone on a little run, winning up 4-0 in the first set.
Thank you, Zachary. And
Thank you.
like you said, Pavel Modal, again, taking that disappointment, taking the frustration that he felt, he's channeling that today, and you can tell 4-0 already. He's having himself a day against Tennessee State.
Yeah, he's definitely turned things around and is starting to keep it going.
Yes, indeed, and we're going to head over to court number 5 now, where Neil Moynet is taking on Mr. Mattia Bernardi, and we're going to see what's happening in that matchup. Ball flies out, and we're going to see action resumed here. As Moynet taking on, again, Bernardi in this one. Again, Mattia so young, just a freshman, still learning the respects and the aspects of the game, but he's a quick learner. Bernardi going to retreat now, and we'll see what Moynet's got up his sleeve. Ball flies out, so that went a little bit too far. Again, you see him targeting the back line there, trying to make sure that he can get it away from the opponent, but again, nothing that could be done there. Quick serve coming up here, and you saw how high he jumped there for that one as it flies in. And a point will be scored that time by Mattia. Switch sides now. And you can see the rhythm that you have. A lot of players have a formula like that for when they serve. They kind of have this rhythm routine that they use. Makes them more comfortable. And another one looks like flies outside the back line. So as we're seeing a lot of Mattia's shots kind of getting out of bounds towards the back line.
I agree with you.
Serve coming up here for Mattia. And that one goes out, so great job. You saw him go to the right side of the box that time. And again, it made, Moynet try to go over towards the left side and could not quite get it to stick. It's great recognition once again. Very smart player is Mattia. That one goes right into the center of the net again. And like we said, he's Mattia's so quick learner, is he?
Yeah, Mattia being a freshman really pulling through for our team.
Absolutely is. As that one flies out, and Mattia will head over, and it looks like they're going to swap sides potentially here as Mattia takes a quick break on the bench. So we saw Mattia's strategy there, quick focus shots, and he's able to succeed once again. And like we said, a young guy, freshman, he's our age, but he can play tennis at an extremely high level already. Going to be a guy to watch now and in the future.
I fully agree with you. Fun fact, I did see him at McCallie's the other day. I kind of had like a little bit of a fangirl moment. So I think seeing him in McCallie's and then seeing him play, it's definitely really exciting because he's obviously such a strong player already as a freshman.
Absolutely, and you brought up the fact that you see these guys around campus.
It's kind of funny, honestly.
It is interesting when you run into them in that situation. It's a little bit odd, but these guys are just as much as part of the campus as anybody, and they live on campus, they study on campus, and they play on campus. They enjoy it just as much as anyone, and in a way that makes them connected, part of the MTSU family.
Definitely part of the family.
And they want to succeed not only to represent MTSU, but to represent their friends that they have and to show just how good they are. And he tried everything he could that time to keep that ball in play, but it just siphoned out. Right idea, but unfortunately wrong placement there. So MTSU will take the serve once again here from the left side. right side of your screen, left side of the court. High arcing serve. And into the net goes once again. And you can kind of tell the frustration there for the Tennessee State player. Really wanted to try to get over the net, but he's having issues getting it towards that high arcing position. And height's been something Tennessee State has struggled with. Haven't been able to get the ball up enough to really make an impact. And that's resulted in some series going to 1 and then some to 2.
I agree with you. It definitely has a huge impact.
It looks like, though, as well, the longer these series go, Tennessee State does start to get a little bit more of an advantage. The thing with MTSU is if they can close out a series quickly, that usually gives them an advantage, and they're able to find a way to quickly get victories. MTSU really prioritizing speed in this one, and they've been able to use it to great effect. And they'll sit down near the ladder. MTSU looking to climb the ladder to grab that brass ring of a victory here. And, of course, joining us back in the booth once again. And got to say, we're really seeing some great action here all across the board. MTSU, again, having that sort of bounce-back performance you need and gaining some important momentum here.
I agree. We're going to now move over to court number 1 with Francisco. Check in on him and see how he's doing.
Francisco up against Pierre Copen once again. You can hear the sounds being made by Francisco. Shows how much effort he's putting into this. Perfect form right there.
Very nice.
Puts up the fist pump, and for good reason. That was a great shot. And you saw how it hit the center of his racket once again. That's a hallmark of a great player, one who doesn't hit the side or hit maybe a different part of the racket. You always make sure you put it dead center. Francisco is probably one of the best when it comes to form and the direction of where the hit is going. About to go over to court 3 in just a second. And MTSU, not just Francisco, but everybody on the Blue Raiders does a great job of practicing their form and technique, and that's such a huge part of playing, Izzy.
I agree. Right now you can see him getting really close to the net there. Wow. Definitely think that takes a great advantage.
Absolutely does. As we've got, again, Maximus Kizjevas and Pavel Motul here for MTSU and Tennessee State. Serve from the top here for Kizjevas. Very high arcing serve, and that one looks like it was in, so Tennessee State gets a point there, and that adds to their cause. Quick score update here. On court 3, MTSU up 5-0. Court 4, MTSU up 4-3. On court 1, MTSU up 4-3. And 5-2 over on court number 6 as well. So some updates there from across the board. New scoreboard system going to be instituted here soon as well, so can help us even more follow the action here in the Adams Tennis Complex.
I was going to say, here at the Adams Tennis Complex, there's also a puppy. Someone brought their dog. I think that's really great encouragement to come to the matches.
I know if I was a player and I saw a dog, I'd feel motivated to succeed.
I would definitely have to win for the dog, guaranteed.
Absolutely. We actually met the dog and her owner
yes,
earlier
very
today.
Nice.
Very nice
people.
And, of course, the Tennessee State fans who have made the trip here to Murfreesboro, very nice and very passionate about their team. They want them to succeed as well, and been very nice and very accommodating so far. Ball flies into the net, and looks like that will be a point again for MTSU. So great job once again by Moto. Goes back over, and he'll serve from the left side now. And Pavel, of course, being a senior, 6 feet overall in height, and we haven't really talked as much about height so far in this game, but it can play a big factor.
Definitely brings you an advantage when playing, I agree.
Serves up.
Can give you more like loftier shots.
Absolutely. And he gets another nice play right there, does Pavel, and gets another point, adds to his cause, and he continues to show what he's got. And Adam Cole would be proud because right now it's all about the boom for MTSU. They continue to hit hard and precise shots, but power is such a big respect when it comes to tennis, and MTSU does a great job of hitting shots that are going to make it to the back every time, and it takes a lot of strength to get those to those spots.
Very striking, very powerful shots, especially coming off of all the matches this weekend and all the match this morning against Notre Dame. They have to really finish strong, hopefully with a win today, and I think they're able to push through, use their strength, and get these last few swings in.
100% agree, and so going over here, we're currently catching up with Pierre Copen and Francisco. Francisco has disagreed with his opponent's ruling a couple times now. Interesting to see what's going on there. Of course, you've got a couple of adults over there for MTSU and TSU watching the action, but you know, obviously scoring controversies are part of it, and you may think you see one thing when you see another, but always have to be careful to monitor and watch those, and usually such a great job done by those in those positions. But tennis is also interesting in the respect that the players are the ones who call these, so makes it very interesting.
Definitely really up to the players' honesty with each other.
Honesty is the best policy.
I agree.
At least that's what I've always been told. All right, so the quick update here. The Court 3 set has been wrapped up. MTSU gets the first point there, and that is going to be absolutely crucial as they look forward. But things looking good. Of course, that is a matchup between Kashjevis and Pavel Model. So MTSU with big success there and already getting an advantage, and that's so huge to get that first point, especially in a singles match. That sets the tone. That gives you the idea of what you want to do going forward and gets the other players motivated to follow in his footsteps.
Great start to the singles matches.
100%. Francisco. And looks like that one flew out. Francisco called it out, so that will be another point for Rocha and MTSU. And they are rocking Murfreesboro with their play right now. Looking to close this thing out, very close to doing so. High arcing serve. And another one flies out of bounds. So you see Pierre Copen trying to hit it on the back line, but right now he is playing with fire and he is getting burned by it. As he'll talk to Coach Smith for Tennessee State. But right now Rocha really taking advantage of that. And when your players, when the opposing player is making a mistake like that, it makes it easier on him. And soon after this volley, we'll have Zach Alone with an update.
Hey guys, so the big thing of the argument that happened was a ball looked, from my perspective, it looked about an inch or two in, and then the TSU player called it out. And then Brock comes up to the line, Francisco Rocha comes up to the line and says, hey, that's in. And then the guy said it was clearly out. So then Francisco said, hey, guy, hey. He called the chair umpire over and he said, hey, he did this the whole time last time. He said, I'm not going to do this again. So then argument ensued. So that was what the big commotion about was on court number 1.
Interesting.
Wow.
So thank you, Zachary, for that
drama
report.
There.
Yeah, so obviously a little bit of controversy taking place.
For sure.
And we mentioned how it's a game of inches, and apparently it was 1 inch that was the determinant factor. But obviously Rocha, he did not like the call by Pierre Copen in that one.
Yeah, saying especially that he knew this was going to happen coming from the game they previously had just a few weeks ago. I mean, you were definitely able to go into the game recognizing, specifically knowing this, that this could happen. So you want to make sure you're clear with your calls and know exactly what is in and what is out.
Obviously, hard to speculate on exactly what the situation truly is, but obviously if Francisco has found that and felt that way, then he knows something, and he kind of knows the tendencies of Tennessee State, and that comes back to the experience he's had. He kind of knows what to expect and what this was going to be like going in, and experience pays dividends in these situations. And that one will go into the net by Pierre Copen. And another one goes in. Big mistake that time, and that will benefit Rocha as he will add another point to his total. And looks like that will send him over to the bench to take a quick break. So interesting development there with the potential scoring controversy. We'll see how that gets updated as time goes on. But despite that, looks like Rocha still having no trouble keeping the advantage.
No, definitely keeping up a strong win streak going for us, winning first the doubles point and now continuing to win. We won the first set, correct? Yes, very exciting.
Heading over to court number 4 now, we have Diego Alvarez taking on John Chin. So MTSU currently trying to take advantage in that one. Score is 4-3, Chin up in this affair. And excellent display of marksmanship that time by Chin. Put it again in the exact right position. Crosshairs were perfectly placed, and that helps MTSU once again. And that will send it to the sideline for the moment as MTSU will take a break. About to go back to court number 3 with some action, but again, you saw MTSU having some success in that one and taking advantage. And again, already closed out one set, up in most of the sets, and like we said, total team performance so far.
And now we're on court number 3 with Pavel.
Pavel Moto going up against Maximus Kazijevas for Tennessee State. One thing we haven't mentioned, both teams coming from Middle Tennessee cities, of course, but Nashville and Murfreesboro, similar but also different in a lot of respects, and playing in those different environments can definitely see different effects for both teams.
I agree. I definitely know that our MTSU men's tennis team is extremely dedicated to their sport and work very hard at practice and training, so I can definitely see how that plays out during these matches.
Serve coming up right here. Pavel with the shot. Ooh, just tapped off the net. Yeah, it looks like he just tapped off the net. Moto trying to get it over, but again, unable to do so. And that will give Kazijevas another point there. Heads towards the center and now gets ready for the big serve here. Goes way in the air. And again, goes into the net. So Pavel having a little bit of issues currently with the net, getting some of these tennis balls that he's throwing at it. And looks like height has become something that has become an issue. And got to wonder some of it if it's due to arm power. Maybe that arm exhaustion getting to it. Think about the number of swings they take in a given day.
Yeah, definitely the arm exhaustion, especially at the end of reaching the end of this match and coming off the one this morning and the rest of the ones this weekend. They have to stay focused and stay strong.
And obviously these athletes are in great physical condition, but it doesn't matter how conditioned you are. When you're playing 5 or 6 hours in a row, it will wear on you.
For sure.
Ball goes in the net that time for Moto. So Pavel will take it up again from the top. Currently having some issues with this matchup, and I'll have to head back over and kind of retool things. Like we said before, though, momentum is a fickle thing, and it changes on a dime. Sometimes all it takes is one play or a quick sequence of plays to change the entire direction of a game.
That is true.
MTSU trying to find the lost treasure that they are trying to succeed in, which will be a victory if they can get it done here in just a moment. Ball flies out. Nice sliding shot there towards the end, though. Despite the fact that it went out of bounds once again, you can still see a lot of the talent that Pavel is showing. But right now having some issues with Mr. Kazijevas. So update real quick, MTSU has taken the first set in all 6 singles matches really a complete domination across the board, and that's what you like to see. MTSU having a thorough demonstration today.
An amazing starting lead.
That's what you like to see, and that means MTSU draws ever closer to closing this one out. Remember, need to get 4 singles victories in order to get the entire singles point, but looks like they are well on their way. Ball slides out of the box, and we will see if it can land in the box this time. It does. And that one, again, flies out. So maybe, I think, in a way, you're starting to kind of see how the longevity of this game is kind of starting to get into play. Obviously, hard to speculate and tell for sure, but got to imagine that some of that mental strain, especially with how mentally draining, it can drain your ability as a player when you've been through as much as this team has been through today.
I fully agree with you. They've been through a lot, and they're just going to have to finish strong.
Absolutely. Serve coming up here for Tennessee State momentarily. And that one will fly out of bounds. Looks like, though, it was in, so you're kind of starting to see Kachevis is getting a little bit of momentum on his side, and sometimes it can take a little bit of time before you really find that moment where, that sort of that aha moment where things start to go right for you. It can take a little bit sometimes for players to heat up metaphorically and get in that position they need to, but it looks like Kachevis is finding that. So the script is starting to kind of be flipped in that game, and it makes you wonder, makes you curious, will we see that in other games?
Potentially could see that continue and change on us in other matches.
100%. Be heading to more courtside action here in just a moment here at the Adams Tennis Complex.
Really proud of our boys.
Yes,
pushing
yes.
through.
They are fighting hard and playing with a purpose. Going over to court 6 now, where we currently have Daniel Carbero taking on Lucas Olivier, excuse me. And that ball flies into the net, but you can see fast-paced action right there that would be worthy of the Daytona International Speedway. You can see just how fast the balls go, and it shows tennis really, I think really the only other sport that compares is baseball with the speed and ferocity that these balls go at.
I agree with you. It's very a unique sport, and having to hit them with a lot of power, a lot of intensity, you got to come in strong and lead all the way through.
Ball flies out the back. And tried for the scoop shot and just could not get it.
Frustration.
Yeah, some frustration building right there for that Tennessee State player. And Daniel Carbero, again, having a little bit of difficulty taking on Olivier, but he is overall just playing a really complete and total game thus far, and they'll head towards the benches. And we will reevaluate that game here in just a little bit. But we're going to head back towards the booth now, and again, that's another showing MTSU finding another lane, finding that extra gear, and making more progress.
I agree with you. Now we're going to head over to court number 1 with Francisco.
Rocha and Pierre Copen, and remember, this was the game earlier where we had the scoring controversy. See how this one has developed. Looks like that one flew out of bounds ahead of time, and more discussion ensuing here. Gotta say, this is very interesting to watch, and obviously you can't exactly hear what the players are saying, but you can kind of tell body language by the story of the eyes that there is something very unique about this situation taking place. And tried for the ice cream scoop shot and could not get it that time.
Just a quick little miss there.
Yes, indeed, and sweat starting to pour off the athletes here as time goes on. Serve coming up here. Into the net once again. And again, these games progress forward Players going on probably at this point 6 or 7 hours of total play today. Hear the cheers from the sidelines as well. Great fan support here at the Adams Tennis Complex, and that one goes into the net. Still some disappointment there, but like we said before, Izzy, you don't want emotions to overtake your performance on the court.
Definitely have to stay focused and in the zone.
Absolutely, you want to get in that zone, and you want to tap into what is Marshawn Lynch would call beast mode.
Are you in beast mode right now?
I hope so. I think I'm in beast mode.
I'd say you're
I feel pretty excited.
You're in journalism
so yes.
beast mode.
I guess I'll call it journal. And that was a beast mode shot there. That was Marshawn Lynch, highlight reel worthy, and what a great job that time by Rocha. And he did that with authority and power behind it. So Rocha playing inspired, motivated tennis here, and love to see it.
Agreed.
Rocha so passionate about the game of tennis, and of course we talked about his years of experience on the court. This is a guy that gives it his 100% all every time he goes out there, and he makes sure to leave it all on the field of play. Why it's so much fun to watch Francisco Rocha.
Yeah, Francisco is, again, another one of those players that are really a fighter. Really comes in strong and big hits.
Ball flies out of bounds that time, and that'll give Rocha yet another point.
Another advantage.
Yes, indeed.
All those little points add up for sure.
Absolutely, and you know, a little mistake can be somewhat detrimental at one point, but it can really, like you said, add up with time. That's why it's important to get in a rhythm of consistency to avoid those.
Agreed.
That one will fly out of bounds into the green, and MTSU gets more return on their investment as Rocha scores once again. He probably wouldn't be too shabby on the stock market.
Mm-hmm.
MTSU up on all courts except court number 3. MTSU currently faces a 1-0 deficit, and I believe that is a matchup between Kischevis and Pavel Modal, so gonna have to keep an eye on that one. Ball goes into the box, and Rocha again just continues with his really thorough performance so far. He's so entertaining to watch as a player, is he? Just the way he attacks the game.
Yeah, I agree. He's a really comes in strong. He really has a lead, and I think he's able to show that throughout his match.
Great stuff from Francisco, and we're going to head over to our next court of play.
I believe this is court 2.
Indeed it is.
With Stepan.
Yes, Stepan Hollis currently in this one. And momentarily we will get another report from Zach Lone, hear what he has to say on the newest developments here at the Adams Tennis Complex. Zach?
Hey guys, on court number 1, I talked about earlier, Francisco Rocha got a little bit frustrated with his opponent for calling a ball that was close, that out, which it looks to end. But now, ever since that moment, he has won 5 straight games and won that first set 6-3 and is now up 3-0 in that second set.
Thank you very much, and I think that's an example of maybe motivation coming into play there.
I have to agree with you. I think maybe a little bit of disagreement almost was a benefit to push you through the rest of the game.
Absolutely, and we'll head back to court 1 and to that very matchup between Rocha and Pierre Copen. This guy uses motivation. He wants to play with a chip on his shoulder, and anything that he can see that will help him to victory, he's going to utilize it and do it to the best of his ability.
I fully agree with you.
As Michael Jordan would say, he takes things personally. Serve coming up here. And nice scoop shot there. Unable to get that one over the net. We saw some sidearm dynamite right there, but just unable to get that one to go. And again, those little mistakes happen, those unexplainable shots, but as a player, you just got to put it behind you and move forward, right?
It does happen, but you got to just keep pushing through, especially Francisco being a senior. I think he's really a strong player at showing that even with difficulty, you can keep going and keep fighting.
Been down that road a few times. Ball flies in.
Wow. Was it in? Oh.
It was for the moment, but now it's out again. And you could just see Copen waiting on that one, basically all but, you know, putting his hands together because he knew something great was about to happen for him. And
for sure. That was such a long shot. Wow.
Yeah, you got to admire Rocha's effort to try and keep that one in play, but sometimes there's a situation like that
it's
where,
just too difficult.
yes, nothing can be done.
That's true. Whoa. That was also a very high shot.
Rocha going for the sky game. That one bounces off the net.
Wow.
And he puts it through.
That
what
is
a
a
play.
nice shot. Just the let just allowed him to even advance.
Rocha did not want any of that hit and absolutely torpedoed it down the alley. And Rocha just continues to impress here. Ball goes in the net there on the first serve. Second one coming up. And looks like that one was back, so Rocha again adds to his lead that is already reaching a critical status for Tennessee State and PR Copen. That was,
wow.
That's what we'll call indefensible once again. What intelligence and what foresight by Francisco Rocha. Again, just putting it to pay dirt, and he just continues to impress with MTSU. Gotta love the way he's doing it right now, and I think we talked about how players can get in the zone. He is in the zone right now.
I have to agree. He's definitely in the zone, definitely focused and ready to keep pushing.
When players are playing with that mentality, with that sort of confidence, little can be done to stop them. Conversely, when a player is playing with a less of a mental advantage, it can also affect their play on the court. Looks like that first serve was called back, and Rocha looks like he might disagree with that statement, but he will try again. Of course, moment as a player where you gotta not let that mistake get too far under your skin. Obviously, you want to use it as motivation, but not let it affect you in a negative way.
It's true.
Ball flies out once again, and that will only continue to put this stranglehold on the game that Rocha has. Oh my goodness.
It's a light tap. Wow, that was so smooth. I was like, wow.
That was very nonchalant, very Allen Iverson-esque, just kind of,
just a quick little, literally just a quick little boop right over.
I think we were all expecting and really hoping potentially for a really strong hit there, but Rocha's smart.
Not even the need.
He didn't even feel the need to do so. Very well done.
Yeah, rather reserve your power almost and just have a light tap than a super strong hit because, I mean, you got to stay strong.
And I think Pierre Copen was expecting that as well. As we will head over to court 3 momentarily, but again, Rocha playing with a lot of confidence and dynamite right now. He is really impressing, and I'm loving the style. He can hit it hard, he can hit it soft, but he is really the complete and total package.
I agree with you. Now we're showing Pavel as he continues his fight against Tennessee State. Wow, definitely having to move really fast.
Yeah, has to stretch out very far too. And looks like he did get that point, so great job by Pavel on that one. And he is obviously, we talked about how he had taken a tough loss against Notre Dame earlier today, and you got to admire the ability that he has to battle back and really make a statement here. And he is starting to create a great legacy here for the MTSU men's tennis team. Going to be fun to watch for the next few years. And that one was close. I believe they're going to call it in. Depends on what Pavel calls. And looks like it was. So we will see Moto with the serve here to the right side. Going to be heading to court 2 momentarily, but again, we're seeing action from around the court. We'll give a quick score update here in just a moment. But Izzy, what are you most impressed with MTSU so far?
I think recovering from the last game earlier today to now is such a big shift. I think that's mostly a mental shift to get prepared and ready to continue the fight. And especially losing the win streak, I mean, that's kind of sad, honestly. I was really sad personally. I literally was about to cry in the Adams Tennis Complex. No cap, for real. So I think that they had to really pull themselves together and keep fighting. And now being able to face on Tennessee State and win first the doubles match and now winning all their first sets, they're really able to pull out hopefully on top as we continue to watch these games.
Absolutely, and you talked about the loss earlier today, and not to linger on negativity for too long, but yeah, you were right. The silence as well was really eerie in the stadium.
I agree. It's a little somber in here.
Yes, no.
But now the energy's definitely picked back up and we're able to recover.
100%, and again, that's what it's all about, putting things like that behind you as we see a very intense volley here. Oh, and just tried to serve it, and looked like a little bit of an awkward landing that time as well. But we talked about it. It was kind of somber, kind of eerie. Never really seen Adams Tennis Complex quite like this. And all you could really hear was the muffled footsteps, and can't imagine what was said in that locker room. But obviously, it has lit a fire under MTSU, and they are playing with something to prove here today.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Jimmy really did a good job of telling the boys that, you know, even though we've been through all this, even though we've been working so hard, we can still complete the game today against Tennessee State with hopefully a win. And I think we're seeing how that speech probably transferred over to gameplay.
Absolutely, and looks like we'll head to the center of the court. So I believe that match has concluded, and indeed it has. So MTSU takes the point, and that continues to add to their lead, and they are well on the correct path to clinching victory here, and just really impressive, complete total team performance.
I agree with you. What a great point. Keep us going.
Copen with the behind-the-back attempt.
Yeah.
Trying to go a little no-scope there, but not quite going to work out, and he will retreat back over towards the backside to retrieve that ball. Again, this is Francisco Rocha and Pierre Copen over on court number 1. Maybe the most entertaining matchup we've seen so far today.
I agree with you.
These two have such great chemistry and know each other so well when it comes to the game of tennis.
Whoa.
Ooh, shake and bake there by Copen as he just goes side to side and puts it right towards the corner. And maybe that shot, maybe something that will build a little confidence for him.
I agree.
It can always take just one, and that can really build yourself back up, and it's something to at least say, hey, I can do this, so maybe I can score some more here.
I agree with you. Wow.
That was very close. Very hard to say whether or not it was in or not. I believe they're going to rule that it was out, if I'm not mistaken, but either way, we will see another serve coming up here. But you saw, again, the ice cream scoop shot, the scoop special, and was able to take somewhat of an advantage. Not for long, though, as that one will fall into the net, and Rocha will take momentum back. And it looks like that will do it for that court. So Francisco Rocha takes the victory, and things are coming together all at once for MTSU, and looks like they're taking a significant advantage.
I fully agree. I think this is a really great stepping stone for the rest of our games today, and hopefully pull up on top.
Absolutely. Going back over to more tennis action. And we are about to have more tennis action coming to you here momentarily, as we'll go from the top of the key here. And just momentarily here, we will also have Zachary Loam with yet another great report, and can't wait to hear what insight he's got here. Zachary?
Hey guys, so again on court number 1, that court finally went final where Francisco Rocha won 6-3, 6-0. Again, after that initial line call that the TSU player called, you heard Chris Edge say the game, he said, it's over. Francisco was just about to play with him, and he did. He won 8 straight games to finish off that match.
Thank you very much. And like you said, he kind of had that mama mentality about it. He was just like, all right, you know what, if this is what is going to be given to me, I will respond in kind. And he absolutely did. What a dominating performance, and what a great job by Francisco Rocha.
Yeah, he completely dominated and pulled through and said, you know what, this is what we're going to do now, and completely finished out the whole game.
That's what
amazing.
Absolutely, that's what we call setting the narrative, and that is exactly what he did there. Going back over to more action here. in the middle of a great volley. And, oh, a bit of a slant there as it falls out of harm's way. I believe this is a matchup between Diego Alvarez and John Shin. Serve coming up. Powers it through, and out of bounds it goes. So we've seen some of those shots from Alvarez kind of go outside the numbers, so to speak. No numbers in tennis, but same sort of idea. Kind of going outside of that slant mark as marks high and powers it right into the net. I got another quick update here from Zachary Lone.
Hey guys, just a really quick update on court number 3. Pavel Model, after winning that first set 6-1, drops the second set 6-0, so they're heading to an all-important third set.
All right, thank you very much, Zachary.
Thank you.
And man, what a change in narrative in that one.
Yeah.
Pavel Model took a pretty dominant lead over there in the first set, but then a 6-0 loss in the second set. We saw something similar to that over kind of yesterday in the women's tennis matchups. Some of the matchups would go 6-1, then 6-0 in the second set. And that third matchup is going to be all important, one to watch, and it'll be sudden death for Pavel Model. And that one will fly out of play, and it looks like we have concluded yet another game. So
Wow.
another win for MTSU. That
We're
makes
just
it
racking them
3.
up.
Yes.
Yes, very exciting, very grateful for these wins today.
Absolutely. We're going to head to court 4 here momentarily for the matchup between Alvarez and Mr. Chin. And MTSU trying to close it out here. Already closed it out 3 matchups and currently up 4-0 on the score sheet. And like what we're seeing, and it looks like we're going to have another lull in the action here. Going to head over to court 6 here momentarily, and we will see the matchup taking place between Daniel Calabero and Mattia Bernardi. Or excuse me, Lucas Olivier, my apologies. And we will see what is taking place. Haven't seen this matchup in a little bit, so it'll be interesting to see what's happening. And talking about Mattia Bernardi, as we'll have a quick break in the action here. Mattia, of course, as a freshman, a lot to prove when you're that young. You know, you want to get the confidence of the team. You're kind of an unknown. They don't know who you are yet, and you want to prove something as a player. That's what Mattia is trying to do here, and I think he's really getting into the hearts and minds of MTSU. People are starting to really find great, inspiration from this guy.
I agree. He's definitely starting strong as a freshman and is able to hold himself up to the standards that MTSU men's tennis is able to hold from Coach Jimmy.
Absolutely, and that's a very high standard, a standard of success, so to speak, and that one will fall out of play. And we will see what Pavel Model can do here. Remember, this is the third set of this all-important matchup. Model trying to take advantage, but he took a 6-0 loss in the last one. The senior from the Czech Republic trying to overcome the odds here. That one will fall into the net. And Izzy, what do you think is the turnaround that Pavel needs to take advantage of this one?
I think he's going to have to come in with some strong hits. I mean, seeing again how he played versus Notre Dame, he was able to hold himself up even though he did lose. I think he was able to hold up his position and really just stay focused and stay strong. I think that's what he's going to have to do for this match as well.
Absolutely. Coming back over to the top now. Again, Pavel Model going up against Maximus Kazjeves. And this one has definitely been one to keep an eye on as he will now serve from his left side. And witness the power you're going to see on this serve. Looks like that one fell out of bounds, so second serve upcoming. And looks like that one caromed off the net and out of play. So Model again kind of having some issues there. And again, we talked about how big that match was he had earlier today. It went for so long, had so much intensity, so much passion. He has to be exhausted at this point, really.
I agree. He has to be tired. I mean, his arms also, as you mentioned earlier, have to be tired. So he's going to have to just come in strong with these last few hits and know that his weekend is almost over, and soon he can go home relax, and take a break and get ready for the matches next week.
Absolutely. That's as a player, you don't want to have that moment where you give up. You want to keep focusing on the task ahead. Think about those positive scenarios. Think about what could be coming in the future. And usually that's the way that you'll find to get back to success. Pavel trying to do just that here.
I agree.
Serve upcoming. Lucas Chavez. Looks like that one did get into the box. And sidearm, bam, into the net.
Right into the net.
And that is the ultimate brick wall when it comes to tennis. And looks like that will give Model a point there. And a big-time way to kind of stop the bleeding, kind of put a Band-Aid on the wound for Pavel Model. And that's going to be huge for him, potentially to establish more momentum as time goes on. As a player, you don't want to let a 6-0 loss like that shake you.
I agree. You have to keep going, have to keep staying focused and pushing through.
Absolutely, that is exactly what Pavel Model is doing. Going back to that matchup here. Model against Chavez, and it has been an absolutely entertaining matchup. And I will happily take 3 more seasons of this TV show. And a nice job that time.
Yeah, definitely a lot of shots are hitting right into the net today, I feel.
Yeah, especially for Tennessee State. We saw Pavel Model go backhand, sidearm, topsy-turvy kinds of hits, and he put it right through and eventually was able to outlast the opponent. And that's what you have to do in a lot of these scenarios. Just outlast your opponent. Find the will to continue on even when your body wants to give up.
I agree with you.
Pavel Model
You have to stay
exceeds
dedicated.
that. Yes, yes. Exemplifies that in so many respects.
What a strong serve.
Indeed it was.
Oh, he's right by the net.
And there it
Wow,
goes.
that's crazy.
It's out, and it is gone. Might as well call that one a home run for Pavel Model.
I agree with you.
And you saw immediately he went into attack mode when he got to the net and was instantly going to spike that one down, and that is exactly what he did. And you got to love the ferocity on that hit from Pavel Model. Ball is just now coming back to the court. Shows the distance it's traveled. And here comes the serve from Pavel. Quick arcing serve. And that was out of bounds. Great recognition once again. And that takes a lot of self-control as a player, Izzy, to get that sort of thing done.
I agree with you.
Serve upcoming here for Chavez. Great technique, great form there. Shot, boom, there you go once again.
Definitely see Pavel staying back. He missed that one, but I'm sure he can pull through. No worries, no stress.
Absolutely, and that is a big thing for Pavel to remember right now. No stress, no need to feel super concerned at the moment. It's still anybody's game, and it's still early on in that third set. So a lot still has the potential to happen for Pavel Model. But you saw the great job by both players on that one, Chavez and Model. Really watching two artists at their craft here, and they are painting a Van Gogh-esque masterpiece. Serve goes up, and looks like goes out, so second serve will be upcoming. And Model will retrieve that ball. And, oh, just a little bit too far on the backhand that time.
Yeah.
But you saw what he was going for.
Definitely had the right idea, just a little too far. A little out of balance there.
Corner shots are so difficult to take advantage of because you have such a narrow window of what you can and can't do. If you look on the screen, you can kind of see how the courts come together there. It's kind of in an L shape, and it's very hard to get it right in that very spot. And like we said, you're kind of playing with fire in that scenario, so you have to be very careful.
Very careful, very precise.
Indeed. So here comes the next serve from Pavel. Out of bounds and out of reach now as Pavel Model will take that point, and a big win especially for him considering that he was kind of on the back burner there for a second, but he has seemingly found that second gear and probably used some things that he saw in the second game to his advantage.
I agree with you. I think he really pulled out strong and was able to push through his little difficulties, and now he can pull out with the win.
Absolutely, and great players are able to learn more about themselves and their opponent as the game is taking place.
We're now moved over to court number 4 with John Chin.
And that play comes to a close as Chen will take it now over from the left side. Chen, a left-handed player, and like we said before, that can create a little bit of difficulty for the opponent. Ooh, great recovery that time, but unfortunately, Diego Alvarez ran out of time. And great job that time by Chen to put the ball up and away. There are only so many sands in the hourglass, and unfortunately, the last one came down for Alvarez on that play. Oh, nicely done that time.
Very nice. Getting right up close to the net, ready to hit it fast and hit it strong.
Absolutely, and you saw how little the ball bounced. That's what I'll call that the spin doctor move, where you just kind of put a little bit of spin on it, and it makes it to where the ball doesn't travel nearly as far distance-wise, and it can disorient the opponent, take them off their game. They think the ball's coming right to them, but in reality, it is not. That ball will crash in the net, and we will see another serve coming up here for Alvarez. Again, currently Tennessee State trailing 4-0 to MTSU, who has closed the double point and has taken 3 of the singles matchups. So again, and especially as these games progress forward, it becomes more and more crucial for both of these teams to deliver.
It's very prevalent that we're getting near the end, so we're going to have to finish strong, keep pushing through. We're now going to move over to court number 3 with Pavel. Check in on him, see how he's doing.
Pavel Model back at it. We saw him take a point here just a few moments ago. And we will see how things have progressed since then. From the left side of the court. And that will be a let off the net, so he will get a second serve upcoming. And I believe that was in.
Wow, that was a really great corner shot. I think it really showed how you were able to get it in, even on that edge of the line.
Absolutely. He was living on the edge, much like a cliffhanger, but a great job to put backspin on that ball. You saw exactly where he wanted to put it. He saw it, he called his shot, and he did it. What a great job that time by Model.
Very strong move.
Absolutely, and he exemplifies that in so many ways. Strength and power and grit and determination. See all those qualities in Pavel Model. Next serve upcoming. And into the net once again. So Model has had some issues. Usually if the ball isn't scored, it will go into the net. Not to see a lot of plays out of bounds with Pavel Model, but I think that kind of shows and demonstrates what he goes for on a given play.
I agree with you.
And you can hear the chants from the fans from the side.
The crowd is ready to get Pavel this win.
And looking at the fans right now, they're all kind of cornered over towards Pavel's side, and they are cheering on him. Remember, he is a fan favorite in many respects, and they want to see him come out on top. And that's a great way to start.
Wow.
A mistake that time by Kashjeves as he tried to just barely scoop it up, and he scooped it into the net. So that will be a point again for Pavel Model, and that's a big one for him as wipes his brow with the towel. But you can tell he's starting to really build back that confidence that, you know, hard to say, but maybe some of that was lost in the second matchup, but he's starting to find it once again.
Agree with you. I think he's able to pull through, keep pushing, hopefully pull out with the dub.
That's what we're hoping for, and he'll head towards the back. I'm going to give you a quick score update here while we have a moment. MTSU up 5-4 on the second set on court 4. Currently trailing 1-6 on the second set on court 3. And we will get you more updates as those come in. But, of course, MTSU already closing out 3 singles matchups. Going back over. And he gets the point that time. And you hear the team, the crowd, they're loving it. Pavel Model, again, much like the mailman, delivering. We'll head back over. Like we said before, it's been a busy weekend for MTSU, Izzy. So many games, not just between men's, but also women's tennis.
Yes.
And we'll have another game coming up Friday right here on MTN Sports.
Yes, very excited for all the matches this coming weekend. Hopefully we'll be able to start, as we mentioned, a new win streak, hopefully starting with this match right now.
Would love to say we were there for the start of a 40, maybe 50-game win streak for sure.
Wow, wow.
Great job that time. That was power that would make Brock Lesnar envious as he just absolutely flattened that one towards the corner. Gotta love what he's doing with the play right now. And you can tell the speed and the intensity of his ball is picking up.
I fully agree with you. He completely made him run side to side and knew exactly what he was doing and where his shots were being shot so that he could get him right in that corner in an exact place where he could not hit the ball.
He's found his confidence, his groove, his lane. And now he can tell, I think he knows it's time to strike. And looks like they're going to call that one out.
To me, it looked in. I'm not going to lie to you.
So close. Hard to say
close.
for sure, but even still very impressive in that form and that technique to get it there. Looks like he gave his opponent a free point that time. And again, one of those mistakes you want to avoid as a player. But Model does get another opportunity here, and he will try again, this time on the defensive. You know, something as a player to always keep in mind is, would you rather start with serving the ball or getting the serve? I think receiving/serving is something that players kind of struggle with as a balance. And I know you talked about playing high school tennis. I did as well. What kind of style did you prefer? Excuse me.
I had to make sure that when I was playing high school tennis, I had to stay focused mentally and physically, but also just trying my best. I mean, honestly, I was not the best player, so I think just making sure that each hit was really strong and keeping it low enough, I think, was definitely a focus for me.
Absolutely, and you see a lot of that with the players here as Model takes it back. And looks like a potential point was scored that time. So Kashjeves with the job, and that will do it. So Kashjeves takes the point, and for the first time this season, Tennessee State has scored. So
very exciting,
yeah,
honestly, for them. That's great.
Absolutely, and that is a huge building block and something to build off of for this year. We've talked about the Tiger struggles and how they haven't been able to establish that consistency.
Yes.
Maybe this is light at the end of the tunnel.
I agree. I think, honestly, I'm really happy for their team. I think this is really valuable for them to get a nice little start going.
And now we're going to go split screen between courts 4 and 2. On one side, you'll see Diego Alvarez taking on John Chen. And then, of course, we have Francisco Rocha. Excuse me, not Rocha. We have Stefan Hollis taking on Mistrakis. So Pavel Model takes his second loss of the day, but even still, he has had a great day in terms of his ability of playing. He shows a lot of spirit and resiliency in this one.
Oh, he almost fell.
And a quick update on court 4 as that one goes in and Alvarez scores. Currently tied 5-5 in that one. And that means the drama and tension and the hits become more and more crucial, Izzy.
I agree with you. I think every little point counts, and it's very valuable to come out with a win through these points.
Going to move back over now. Both courts with a bit of a lull in the action. Stefan Hollis trying to take home his matchup as well. MTSU currently holds a 4-1 advantage, trying to take care of business. Heading back to action here as sidearm that time by MTSU, and we'll head back over, resuming action. Alvarez with the serve. Ball goes out of bounds, so John Chen kind of having some struggles with those sidearm shots, and that's going to be something to keep an eye on. There it is. Nice job that time by Chen.
Very nice.
Meanwhile, on the other court, a great volley going back and forth. And you can tell, firing up, and he is very excited.
Lots of enthusiasm.
You love to see it, and that shows the passion and intensity that is being felt by Stefan Hollis. And that's because that is it. That will do it. So Stefan Hollis takes the victory. That will raise MTSU's
Great
point
excitement.
total to 5.
Yes, very nice, very helpful. Gonna push us through.
I love to see the passion, the intensity, and the overwhelming spirit. If there's anything that you can call the true blue spirit, he has it.
I agree with you.
Focusing back on the left side of your screen, Diego Alvarez and John Shen. We'll get back with that in just a second, but another big win for MTSU to make it 5-1, and they are this close to putting things out of reach for Tennessee State.
We are almost there. We are just one game away. I think we'll be able to push through and have this great closing to the game.
John Shen will take it. John Chen and Diego Alvarez going at it once again. Sorry for that lull in the action, folks. And very back and forth and very cool matchup. I think we're in for a dramatic finish, Izzy.
I agree with you. I think we'll be able to pull out a strong win on top. I think we got this for sure. In the bag.
Nice job by Chen on that one as he is able to find the lane, forces Alvarez out of bounds, and gives MTSU another critical point.
Great advantage.
Yes, indeed. And that match progresses forward.
Just reaching the end of this match. Looking forward to a win.
That's the goal, and that is the mission that John Chen is trying to accomplish right now. MTSU, of course, having a lot of success today, trying to finish it out here. And the crowd's starting to build around both players now. And Alvarez throws his racket into the air as Alvarez ended up making a mistake and very unhappy with himself, and I believe that might have done it, potentially at least for the next little bit, and it will be a quick break, lull in the action here. Indeed it will be, so a little bit of a break there, but currently we've got Alvarez and Chen in a real back and forth showdown, a real clash of the titans between those two.
I agree with you. I think this is our last little bit of our game here, and I think we're going to hopefully be able to definitely pull out on top. So I think we just have to push through, keep fighting, and get it done.
Absolutely, and the MTSU men's tennis team has a lot of that fighting spirit. As we'll get back to more tennis action here momentarily. You can kind of see behind us that we've got a match that is potentially close to wrapping up as well, and may in fact have done just that there. But that was the matchup, I believe, between Stefan Hollis and Leandros Mistrakis of Tennessee State. And if that is the case, that will leave us with John Shen and Diego Alvarez in their showdown of epic proportions. Chen heads towards the back. And it looks like that matchup has indeed concluded. The scoreboard now reflects it. Blue Raiders up 5-1, and they hold the advantage, and that means they have officially clinched this game. MTSU will take home victory against Tennessee State. And what an incredible performance and a great consistent performance by the Blue Raiders, Izzy.
I agree with you. I think this is a great execution of this game, and I think we're going to be able to pull out strong.
Neil Monnier going up against John Shen right now. And we see, of course, both of these players have been playing such determined tennis here. And that first serve will fall out of play, and that will result in another set of serves for John Chen. And look at the crowd surrounding them. That's one of the great things about this game. Players supporting their teammates right at the given moment. As Monnier comes up a little short that time.
Yeah, the team aspect really gives in to the players and allows them to communicate and help each other out, and I think that plays a huge role in camaraderie and enthusiasm for the game.
Here comes Chen with the serve. And that one fell out of bounds, and I believe that will be a point for John Chen. And what's interesting about him is that whenever he has to go backhand, it's on his right side.
Crazy.
So whenever your player is playing up against that, it can be something interesting to know, and you have to wonder if players attack it for that reason.
I agree with you.
Looks like that one will fall out of play. And you can hear sort of the whispers in the background as they're trying to quiet everybody down and let the game play out here. This is what we call the calm before the storm. Ball goes out, and there's John Chen with the celebration, and that, putting up a little bit of a celebratory sign there. And MTSU claims a 6-1 victory. Congratulations to John Chen and the rest of the Blue Raiders as they take home a victory, and the fight song plays throughout the arena. And what a great job there is, as we will take a commercial break here in just a second, but we'll be back with more post-game action. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in just a little bit after the commercial break.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it?
6 feet apart. Fight! 1, 2, 3, 4.
Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got two.
I'm going to that game.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Adams Tennis Complex. I'm Dylan Simmons alongside Izzy Gutierrez. Just wrapped up our great action here between MTSU and Tennessee State, and we have head coach Jimmy Borendame here. We're going to ask him a couple of questions, so thank you so much for this time. First question, what are the most important things MTSU can build off of from today's action?
I'm just glad you didn't ask me about the streak, because quite frankly, I'm tired of hearing about it, and I'm kind of there's probably a little bit about me that's happy not to hear that talk about it anymore. Today, I was talking to the guys. I really didn't get to talk to them after the Notre Dame match, but I mean, that match is so much different if we capitalize on one of the two match points against Notre Dame on one doubles or on three doubles. And, it was interesting to see. Like, obviously, I had to kind of pick myself up after the Notre Dame match and put myself together for the Tennessee State. And some of the boys did too. There's nothing against Tennessee State, but there's a lot of name brand behind playing Notre Dame and then switching gears and going to Tennessee State. It's a little different level of sexy.
I totally understand. How do you feel going into the next game, especially coming off of both two different types of styles, as you mentioned, types of games? How do you feel like that's going to prepare you for what's next?
The boys, I actually after the Notre Dame match, a couple of them were talking about Virginia Tech, and I kind of jumped all over them because I didn't want to hear about Virginia Tech yet because we had Tennessee State still to play. And so that's a little bit of focus, and so the focus will now be to recover. I probably said it like 4 times in our last meeting, and just guys take care of their bodies. Tomorrow, Tuesday, is going to be like a voluntary day. Some guys will need a little extra rest. I walk around with this big stupid notepad of things that we all need to do better. Each guy needs to do better, and we'll start tackling those things on Tuesday. Get ready for VT.
Absolutely. So, really quickly, can you talk about the turnaround going into this match, and what did it mean having the younger guys perform so big in a lot of these spots?
Yeah, the team is crazy deep. I mean, John Chan over there was looking really solid. Mattia, I didn't get to watch over here. Lucas, and one of the things that I have to balance is trying to make sure I keep pushing these young guys and so they develop and keep getting better, because there's a lot of talent there, and I hate that only 6 guys can play. So I've got to keep keep those guys in there and keep them firing on all cylinders, and knowing that every day it's just about getting a little bit better.
I have to ask, I did see Oscar wrapped up. Can you tell me a little bit about how he is doing?
Yeah, I think it was the first game. Might have been the first game or second game of the set. He was running and he kind of slipped on the curtain over there, and he landed on it, and he was fine because I was watching him pelt beautiful backhands the rest of the match. So I think it's a little bit of one of those things. He kind of landed on it. It's a little tender. I mean, give him tomorrow, and he's 19. I mean, these guys recover like in 10 minutes, so he'll be fine. It's not like an old man like me.
All right, sounds great. Well, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Jimmy, and we appreciate it, and congratulations on your win against Tennessee State.
Yep, appreciate it, guys. Thanks for everything you guys do.
Thank you.
Thank you. So great insight there from Coach Jimmy, and I love a lot of what he had to say. And you can tell that MTSU is determined going into next week's game against Virginia Tech.
Definitely sounded like he had to really have a lot of recovery going from the first game to the second game, and I think this is going to be a great opportunity for them to grow and learn.
All right, well, thank you guys, everyone, so much for watching today's action here at MTSU. Thank you for once again tuning into the Adams Tennis Complex. I'm Dylan Simmons alongside Izzy Gutierrez. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you next time.